Hey, Grand Grizzlies, it's Miss Ali here. We hope that you had a great first week back after the winter break. We're getting going into the new year with 2021, and we're going to continue talking about the Toolbox tools this week. So I am joined by Mr. V.
Hey, Grizzlies. Glad we're all back. I know the first week is an adjustment, so I hope everyone is adjusting well. I know it's been a little difficult for me, but we're getting there. So I hope everyone's moving in the same direction.
We're going to talk about a tool called the Patience tool. We've gone through lots of different tools at this point. I hope that you're using them, that you're finding them to be helpful while we're doing distance learning and while you're going about your regular lives. The Patience tool today that we're going to talk about is going to teach us what it means to be strong enough to wait. Patience is the ability to wait quietly. It means we can accept life as it is without needing to change anything when things can be hard. Patience helps us develop or grow our ability to deal with hard situations, things that are outside of our control. I know what we're going through right now is a very hard situation that is outside of our control. And when we think of the Patience tool, there's a tool that carpenters use. It's called a wood plane. And how wood plane works is when they're working with wood, they need to gently and slowly use this wood plane to shave off parts of the wood that they're working on. If they do it too fast, it's going to ruin or damage the wood. So they have to be very patient while using the wood plane to make sure that it turns out the way they want it to. So when we think of the Patience tool, I want you to think of this hand motion. I want to start by asking Mr. V, why do you think this tool is an important tool from Toolbox?
Being impatient can easily cause you to feel frustrated or to feel anxious or to feel busy. And I think when you can be patient and like Miss Ali said, you can let life happen as it's happening, you're not overly worrying about things that you have no control over. So if something's not going fast enough, there's no way to make it speed up. So being impatient will cause a bunch of feelings. Having that patience, you understand that things are just going to come as they are. You cannot make the time go any faster. You can't change the day. You have to wait. And it makes you feel better to know that rather than to feel like that constant pull of needing to get there or to change.
Yeah, and I like that you mentioned even if you're getting frustrated or impatient, it doesn't make the time go any faster. A lot of times we need to practice quietly waiting, which is what I think of when I think of patience. What do you think of when you think of the word patience, Mr. V?
I think patience for me is I know that I need to slow down and I need to think. So patience for me is slowing down and thinking before I react to whatever the situation is. Granted, sometimes I want to just go right at whatever the situation, and I want to try to fix it right away, but I don't always make the best choices then, or I don't have the best solution. If I can slow down, think about what I need to do, and then go, which is hard to do sometimes.
It is very hard to do. And when I think of patience too, we're talking about being willing to wait for things that you want. I don't know if you guys have ever had to save some money, maybe from work that you do, either around your house that you get an allowance for, or work that you've done to earn money. Sometimes you have to save to get something you want, and it takes a while to get to that point. That takes patience.
When you want to share something and you're having to wait because it's other people's turn. Do you ever feel like, I know that we do lunch group, do you ever feel like sometimes it might be hard for people to wait, but they do a great job, but it's hard because you want to share and you have to wait, right?
Yeah, exactly. And patience is doing something now that is going to help you in the future. Maybe you don't understand exactly how it'll help your future, and maybe it's hard to do now, but you're doing it because you know in the long run, it's going to make an important difference for you. School is a great example of that. School involves hard work right now. Focusing in school makes it so that the longer you're in school, the more you'll be able to have good habits as a student. We've talked about that kind of stuff with distance learning, but even in regular settings when we have school, habits are important to make it so we can be successful, and it requires patience. Mr. V, can you think of any other examples of when you need to be patient?
I mean, I definitely think if you are out in public, sometimes there are things outside of your control too, especially with COVID. There's a lot of like restrictions. Live in the moment and not worry about the change. Like when Miss Ali was talking about, you're a ways away from college and adulthood. Live as a kid and enjoy being a kid. Don't be impatient. Use that patience. Don't want to grow up too fast. There's no sense in being impatient to be older, right? Live in the moment. Enjoy the moment. Don't stress about things that are in the future or that you can't control at the time.
Yeah, it's a good reminder. Being a kid is only this time in your life. We're gonna go ahead and wrap up this video, and then we'll come back for our second part of the video. We're gonna talk about what happens when we're not patient and talk a little bit more about why the patience tool is helpful for us, and then we're gonna do our imagination practice. So we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, Grizzlies.